Hello, this is my new equipment. It's a Keithley DMM6500 that I bought just almost together with this power source, Keithley as well. And I've read and seen very good reviews. Obviously, Keithley it's a top quality equipment brand, and I am right now trying to compare the measurements from my Fluke 45 using a 0.22 volt 1 amp power, and I don't understand why the Keithley, the 2231, it's showing 0.03 volts when I set it to 0.2 and 0.1 amp. So that's something I gotta figure out why it's doing that. But then also, I would expect that the Fluke multimeter would show like the 1 milliamp, right? And right now it seems to be showing like 2.78 milliamp, if I'm reading this correctly. So what I decided to do is just to then turn on my this 6500 Keithley. It's a brand new. I just turned it on for the first time, so I think it's as calibrated as it can be to compare to the measurement I'm getting on my Fluke. So that's gonna be the goal today. So I'm gonna try and get the test leads that came with the Keithley with the multimeter, and then plug those to the power supply, and then compare the measurements to the Fluke 45. And also, by the way, I think I mentioned this before, but the Fluke 45, it's a US made multimeter. I think it was built in the 90s, I think. I gotta verify that. But I really think that it deserves to be on top shape. The calibration sticker from Simco, it stated, and I think I mentioned this already, August 15, 2014. So it's been pretty much 10 years since it was calibrated. And I can use it and it will give me like a pretty good measurement, but when it comes to like milliamps and precision, it wouldn't be a reliable, I think, multimeter. So I call Simco again to see how much they would charge me to get it calibrated. And one of the things they said is that it's not just the calibration, but if there's something wrong, it needs to be fixed. So that's that. I call Fluke Calibration Services, and they discontinued supporting this multimeter back in August 2025. So they don't do any type of service to this multimeter. Okay, so let me get the test leads and plug these two bad boys. So here the test leads came with a 6500. So let's do that one here. And that one there. Okay. And I think I probably wanna, let's see. DC volts, I'm gonna, oh, AC not, DC volts, DCI. That's what I want to measure. So, remove the plastic sleeves that came with this, the probes. Okay. Okay, so that's what it's measuring. It seems to be range. This is where I should have measured, probably read the manual. Auto. DCI. All right. I don't know what am I doing here. I think it's pretty intuitive. I think I'm doing it right. But as I probably mentioned before, I'm just documenting my journey into electronics, buying old equipment, and then buying new equipment and learning, which is probably not what would be considered a normal path, but hey, here I am. So yeah, well, I think I'm going to have to read the 6500 manual and try to get myself a little bit more acquainted with the unit, and then figure out how to measure the power supply and then compare to my fluke waveform. Okay, I think I figured it out, and what I'm using, what I plug the test leads, it's just to measure volts, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to measure the amps that my fluke are measuring, and so these should have been here, and that would have changed things. Now the display is measuring amps properly, and so here's the auto. I'm gonna say 1 milliamp, and maybe I'll change it to 10 milliamp range. So now I'm getting 1.43 around. I think if I change the frequency, probably I could get the sampling, maybe. I will get more stable measurement, but the 1.43 compared to the 1.34, 35, 34, I think that's fairly close, considering it's a milliamp, right? The other thing that's sort of trying to figure out, why is it that the Keithley multimeter is showing like a negative 1.43 milliamp and the fluke is showing a positive. I think I have everything connected properly. Red to red, black to black, black to common on the fluke, black to common on the Keithley, and so yeah, that kind of solves the initial question I had, but that's the progress I'm making as far as learning how to use these before I dive into the thick of testing and fixing or calibrating those guys, and even more complex to work on the Macintosh, which is not here. But something else is that I just bought a NAD 7225 PE. I had one of these. I still have it, but it's power supply with an issue, so I'm gonna try to fix that one. But in the meantime, I got this one. Either if the radio, the tuner is not working, so I might use these as a parts to fix the other one. But again, the point is, before I enter into the risky part side of electronics, I want to make sure that I understand the basics, and that's it.